What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. In today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming mini box that we're going to be getting in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I'm going to be talking about every single card that's from that mini box, and I'm going to do a little review on them. It's mostly a first impressions review on all these cards, but still I'm going to be giving you guys that full box review on all the cards in today's box. So if you guys are excited for today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, as always, leave a like on the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content like this. And I am excited because I haven't done a box review video in a long time, but since I haven't done one in a long time, this one's probably going to be really long. Like, this box review is going to be very long, so sit down, load up some Duel Links, or just do something else while you're watching / listening to today's video. And without further ado, let's go discuss about the upcoming mini box called Power of Bravery. So I'm going to switch to full screen right here. I'm actually going to switch to this thing real quick, and the first thing I want to show you guys is the mini box art. As you guys can see, we have Power Tool Dragon, and we have a couple other monsters on there that we're going to be talking about. Two different synchro monsters and one of the MORPHTRONIC cards that I forgot what that MORPHTRONIC card's name is, but it was one that Leo used in the show, and it was a pretty cool card. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is the Power of Bravery mini box, looking awesome. I mean, I'm pretty excited for this box. I haven't read all the cards yet though, so I'm not sure how good this box is, but it's always nice to get a new box in the game, and hopefully you can get some brand new meta decks and all that stuff right there. So now let's go switch to the paste spin thing right here. Huge shout out to Yazin for posting this. These are all the, cards that we're going to be getting in the box. We have a lot of stuff to talk about in today's video, so without further ado, let's just go talk about everything. So the first things first is that the first UR, and we all know this card. This card is technically already in Duel Links. It is Power Tool Dragon, but I do want to read this card real quick, just to give you guys a reminder on this card, because there's going to be a lot of cards that are going to be associated with Power Tool Dragon. We're going to be able to build some cool Power Tool Dragon decks from this mini box. So Power Tool Dragon is a 7-star Earth Machine synchro with the effect. It takes a tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can reveal 3 equipped spell cards from your deck, and then your opponent randomly adds one of them to your hand, and you shuffle the rest back into your deck. If this card would be destroyed while equipped with a quick spell card, you can send one of those cards to the graveyard instead. This card has 2300 attack and 2500 defense. So super cool card right here. It combos with Leo. Leo has some skills in the game that you can search for equip spells. So now that we're able to get Power Tool Dragon from a box, we can combine those equip spells skills along with Leo and combine them with Power Tool Dragon to make Power Tool Dragon pretty decent. Maybe Power Tool Dragon would be a nice deck to mess around with in ranked PvP, but of course we got to read the whole box and figure out every card from the box before we think about that. But yeah, since Power Tool Dragon is now in this box, we don't need to use the skill anymore to use Power Tool Dragon, and we'll be able to associate some of Leo's skills that can search for equipped spells and everything like that with Power Tool Dragon. So that's really cool right there. And also I think there's some really good machine equipped spells in this box. It's going to combo really well with Power Tool Dragon, so really excited about that. And the fact that Power Tool Dragon can have an immune effect with if it gets destroyed by battle, you can remove the equipped spell instead. That's really nice. I like that a lot. So that is really cool right there. So now we're going to be going on to the next UR card right here. So let's go into this one right here, and I think this one's a little misspelled. This one is misspelled a little bit, it looks like. Let's go to that. I'm guessing it's the Destruction Swordsman. I've never seen this card before. A lot of these cards are going to actually be new to me. Actually, I have seen the artwork for this card. I think this is a newer card in the game. But yeah, let's just go read this out. This is some Buster Blader support. That's actually something interesting that we're going to be getting. Buster Blader support. Probably that. Actually, Buster Blader support makes sense considering that we got a bunch of new support for Blue Eyes White Dragon. So this is going to be the deck that's going to counter Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is going to suck because Buster Blader decimates Dragon decks. So this is actually pretty interesting from Konami. Anyways, this is a 1-star light dragon tuner with the effect, and has 400 attack, 300 defense. And anyways, this card's effect is when this card is normal summon, you can add a destruction sword card from your hand from your deck to your hand, except Buster Whelp with the Destruction Swordsman. You only can use one of the following effects of Buster Whelp with the Destruction Swordsman per turn, and only once that turn. So one of the effects, you can tribute this card and special summon a Buster Blader from your hand or graveyard. I like that. I like that right there. And if this card is in your graveyard while you control Buster Blader, you can discard one Destruction Sword card and special summon this card. Ooh, that's actually pretty interesting. So one thing I kind of like this already. Let's go click Buster Blader real quick. What level is Buster Blader? Okay, so Buster Blader is a level 7. So the fact that this Buster Blader card is a tuner monster that you can special summon from the grade, you can actually go for some 8-star synchro summons if you really want to. So far with the pool that we got though, the 8 stars in the game that we have already are not the best, but I'm gonna guess that in this mini box we're gonna have some other really cool 8-star synchro monsters that we can synchro summon into. But you can synchro summon into Stardust Dragon, which is a good option in my opinion, and any other level 8 monsters that that are easily summonable. But yeah, you can combine this Dragon Tuner with Buster Blader to go into a Synchro Summon for that if you really want to. That would be an option right there for you. So that's really cool right there. Or you know, since you special summon this card back, you can also eventually use the effect where, since you can bring this card back from your graveyard, I'm guessing that you can also go for another special summon a Buster Blader on your follow-up turn. So you can get a lot of Buster Bladers onto the field with this card right here. So I actually like this card. I think this card's actually pretty cool in my opinion. So definitely going to be something curious and interesting to try out. Maybe Buster Blader will be a good deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Who knows though? I don't know if this is enough support for the deck, but this UR is pretty cool. Wouldn't mind getting a couple copies of this UR, to be honest. That sounds pretty cool. So yeah, let's go on to the next card though. Next up we have a memory of the anniversary or whatever that is. Let's go to this right here. So I'm actually kind of confused right now because the box art right here has one of these MORPHTRONICS right here. So why is this not weird? Kind of confused right now. Why is these? Is this list wrong? I don't know. I actually don't know, but why is this UR right here? Interesting. But I guess next up though, let's talk about this trap card right here, a supposed UR card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can take damage equal to attacking monster attack, and if you do, banish that monster. During the end phase of your opponent's next turn, special summon that monster to your side of the field. Interesting. That's actually an interesting card. So basically, you can take the damage still, but then your opponent's monster gets banished, and then you get to take that monster for yourself. So that's a very risky card, considering that we have a 4,000 life point start in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So if your opponent attacks with you like a Blue Eyes White Dragon, you're taking 3,000 damage from that direct attack. But luckily, the monster is banished, and you get to have it, you know, after a little while. Now the thing is though, it says during the end phase of your opponent's next turn. So the fact that it's going to take so long to get it back to your hand, I'm not sure how I feel about this card. Like, the effect is cool, but I feel like it's going to take way too long to really get any value out of this card, considering that while it does banish your opponent's monster, you have to wait a whole another turn to get it onto your side of the field. So I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that. And if your opponent plays against this card or like plays around it, they could attack with their really weak monsters first, and then the only time you would be able to activate this card is when your opponent has really weak monsters. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that card. It's a cool card, but I feel like it's a little slow to get real value out of this card. Not sure why it's a UR. I think that's kind of a waste of a UR in my opinion, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about this, but I am still confused. Like, why is this, you know, MORPHTRONIC right here? Why is this a UR in the box, but yet it's not in this list right here? Maybe there's something wrong. I'm not too sure. I mean, this paste spin did come from Yazin, and Yazin has been reliable in the past when it comes to data mines, but maybe there's some errors with this list. I'm not too sure, but still, that's all the URs from this list, at least, that we're going to be talking about right here. And let's just go on to the SR cards, probably the bulk of this box, to say the least. So let's go check out this card right here. Let's go to Nichiria, Leo Drake. Okay, this one's pretty cool. This one's a nice one to get. So this was actually already been used by an NPC in Duel Links. You probably have faced that NPC multiple times with this deck, but now we are able to get this card, which is really nice right here. I bet some of you guys are happy about that because we have a new 9-star synchro. So this is a Nichiria Leo Drake. It's 1 Earth Tuner plus 1 or more non-Earth Tuner Earth monsters. My bad at getting that all over the place. And this only has 3,000 attack and 1,800 defense. Sadly, this card has no effects, so personally, this card's probably useless. I feel like it's going to take way too many resources to synchro summon it into this monster, considering the fact that you can summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon for 3,000 attack easily with like one card. With this one, you're going to need to use multiple cards to get it out, so I don't know how I feel about this card. It is cool that we do get this Nichiria though, and there's probably some combos related to this card that I just personally don't know, but the card itself doesn't seem that good. But maybe with the Nichiria support that we get in this box, and there's probably some cool combos that we can do, maybe this would be a decent card. So you guys probably could tell me in the comment section down below, is there any value with this card? But it is another option for a 9-star synchro, which is cool. Sadly though, it is very restrictive how you only can use Earth materials to synchro summon to this card too. It's not generic like Gigantic Castle. So I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe there's some combos that I'm missing out that are outside of this card, but like this card itself doesn't seem that good. But it's still cool. And we got a card from the NPCs that we can use in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So that's alright. That's pretty cool. Next up, let's talk about this MORPHTRONIC card right here. Let's talk about this one. MORPHTRONIC Sculpin. Scopin. So Morphotronic Scopin is a 3-star machine tuner. That's actually really nice because to synchro summon to Power Tool Dragon, you can use this level 3 tuner along with a 4-star tuner monster or non-tuner monster that easily synchro summon to Power Tool Dragon. So that's actually a pretty cool card right there. While this card's in attack position, once per turn, you can special summon a level 4 Morphotronic monster from your hand, destroy it during the end phase. Really nice right there. That means you can turn one synchro summon into Power Tool Dragon really quickly with Scopin. Scopin is definitely going to be a card that you're going to want if you're specifically going for the Power Tool Dragon deck. So I actually like this card already. The fact that if it's in attack position, you can special summon a level 4 Morphotronic monster to easily synchro summon to Power Tool Dragon. Really cool right there. Or if this card is in defense position, while this card's face up, defense position, it's level 4. So little options right there. Mostly you're going to be using its attack position effect as it is because you can special summon a level 4, you know, a Morphotronic monster from your hand. But still, 4-star, 3-star, easy, 7-star synchro summon into Power Tool Dragon. Maybe you can use a Kiza skill and use the Kiza skill to add Black Rose Dragon to your extra deck. Easy 7-star synchro. This is pretty cool. I think Morphotronics might actually have some hope in Duel Links because it's easy to synchro summon with, and you have some options when it comes to that too. So I'm actually looking forward to trying out this card with Power Tool Dragon and maybe Black Rose Dragon. That'd actually be really cool in my opinion. So pretty cool card. I might reset the box when I pull this card. Next up, let's talk about Morphotronic Selfon, which was a UR card on the freaking box art, but it says it's an SR here. I'm kind of confused, but still, whether this is an SR or UR card, whatever it is, this card is going to be coming into the box. And this card's actually kind of cool. So this is a 1-star Morphotronic monster. While it's in attack position, once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die, reveal cards from the top of your deck equal to the roll, and special summon a level 4 or lower Morphotronic monster among them, ignoring the summoning conditions, and shuffle the rest into your deck. So you only can special summon one of your Morphotronics, but this is a great way to kind of like cycle through your deck and get certain Morphotronic monsters that you want. And with Morphotronics, they have different effects while in attack and defense position, and since you're using Selfon to special summon that Morphotronic, you can actually put it into whatever position you want it to be so that you can use its effect. So if you you know, roll a 6, search your top 6 cards of your deck and find a Morphotronic that you want in defense position, you can special summon it in defense position and use the effect from there. So it's actually a pretty nice card for the Morphotronic deck. It's a special summon effect, and you can just kind of go for plays right there. So I like it. I like it right there. This is actually can really help. And for example, you can actually use a Morphotronic Selfon's effect, roll whatever number, and potentially mill that last Morphotronic that we had. What was it called? Scopin. Maybe you can, you know, mill that and then special summon Scopin in defense position. Scopin would be a 4-star tuner. Selfon is a 1-star non-tuner monster. Can go for a 5-star synchro summon right there. So synchro summoning can definitely be very viable with Morphotronics, which is really cool right there. I'm honestly looking forward to this deck, and hopefully this deck is like really good in Duel Links and we just, you know, can destroy our enemies with it. I don't know, something cool like that. So like this card. And then also it's defense position effect. Once per turn, you can roll 6-sided die, look at the top cards from the top of your deck and equal to the die roll, and then return them in the same order. So defense position effect is very mediocre at best, but you can know what your upcoming cards are with that effect, I guess. But no, you're mostly going to be using the attack position effect. The defense position effect is not that good. So really cool card right there. Now let's go check out Junk Box. Also, sorry for taking pauses each time I'm in between videos right now, but I'm going to be drinking that water a lot because I'm going to be doing a long commentary. So, Junk Box right here. Select and special summon one level 4 lower Morphotronic monster from graveyard, destroy during end phase. Really nice card right here. You can special summon Morphotronic from the graveyard, can use it for synchro plays or something like that. Nothing too crazy with this card. I don't know if I would run it, though, in my opinion, but maybe if you're playing like some sort of mill Morphotronic deck, Junk Box can be pretty useful, but the only really purpose I could see is just using it for easy synchro summoning right there. But probably, I don't know how I feel about Junk Box as a card, because I feel like it's just kind of like a waste in the deck potentially. If you open up with this card, it might be kind of a brick. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can actually, if you use one of your Morphotronic tuners, you can actually special summon it back to go for another synchro summon. Maybe Junk Box would be good. Maybe it's like a good 1 or 2 card that you can use in your deck, because it can recycle your Morphotronic monsters and keep going for synchro summons if you do a Morphotronic tuner. Maybe something like that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the card, but it might be pretty good. Next up, let's talk about Morphotronic Accelerator. So let's go into this one right here. Okay, so Morphotronic Accelerator is a spell card. Return a Morphotronic card from your hand to the deck, destroy 1 card of the field, and draw 1 card. So it's interesting. I mean, it does, since it's returned from the hand, that's actually kind of useful in my opinion, because it isn't a +1 or it isn't a -1. It's kind of a 0, because you use this card and you return 1 of your cards back to your deck. So that's 2 cards being used to destroy a card on the field and draw a card. So I guess that is kind of just like an evens out, I believe. I might got that wrong, but still, it's an interesting card. Since you do return a Morphotronic from your hands to your deck, it's not that big of a deal. This card would be really bad if you had to summon a Morphotronic onto the board in order order to use this card, but I mean, hey, you can return MORPHTRONICS back into your deck. So if you have a MORPHTRONIC that you don't want in your hand, return back to your deck and then pop one of your opponent's monsters to draw a card. So I think this card's actually pretty good. Probably gonna want to run 2 or 3 copies of this card simply because it destroys monsters and you get to draw a card. So I like it. I think I like this card a lot. I think this will definitely be a card that's going to be used in MORPHTRONICS. I think MORPHTRONICS might be the deck to go when it comes to Duel Links, and hopefully so, because I would love to have a Synchro Summon deck that's good in Duel Links. I'd love that. Now we're going to go on to the VYLONS right here, which is really cool. Or however you pronounce these. Are these VYLONS? I think there might be VYLONS. I don't know. I mispronounce a lot of things. I forgot to say in the intro of today's video that I'm going to mispronounce a lot of the card names, but too late now. Too late now. Anyways, let's talk about, I think VYLON, I think that's what you call these, and I don't want to butcher that last part of the name, but this is a Synchro monster, which is really cool. This is a light 8-star fairy Synchro monster. It takes a light tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. Cards equipped to this card cannot be targeted by card or effect, so you can throw, so it looks like you can easily throw this card into the MORPHTRONIC deck, and the MORPHTRONIC Power Tool deck, considering the fact that this is also equip card reliant, or like has equip card effects. And once per turn, you can send a equip card equipped to this card to the graveyard. Target a monster opponent controls to destroy that target. So that is actually very interesting. I kind of like that card. So yeah, you can combo this card with Power Tool Dragon, which is cool. And I'm guessing the VYLONS can also, if you want to build like a MORPHTRONIC deck, tech in the VYLON card right here, this Synchro monster right here, play it in your MORPHTRONIC deck along with Power Tool Dragon and this card. You could do that, or you can tech in Power Tool Dragon into the VYLON or VYLON decks also if you want to. So this card can be very versatile in both decks in this box. Like that a lot. You probably only need a 1 or 2 of this card in my opinion, because you got to remember with mini boxes, the URs and SRs are both only 1 cards in the deck or whatever. So I don't know, it's a pretty good SR card though in my opinion. You can combo it with multiple decks. Pretty cool right there. Super happy that we're getting some brand new synchros in the game. I'm loving it so far. Next up, let's go talk about this scrap card. We have some scrap support, which is very interesting too. So it looks like the 3 main archetypes are MORPHTRONICS, the VYLONS or VYLONS or whatever you call them, and scrap monsters, which is cool. So that's really cool right there. So next up, what we have right here is scrap, whatever that, man, I like the words on the tip of my tongue, but I don't want to try to butcher it, but still, it is one of these scrap cards right here. It is a 4-star 1700 attack, 500 defense beast effect. It's an earth monster, so you can combo this with the Naturia deck if you want to, because that Naturia monster that we talked about earlier is a 9-star that only uses earth monsters to synchro summon it. So, but never mind, I don't think you can use this for a synchro monster, because the text says right here, this card cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for a synchro summon of a scrap monster, and all other synchro material monsters would also be scrap monsters. So okay, so it looks like you can only use this card for scraps, so scratch that. You cannot use this card with the Naturia monster that I was talking about earlier, so my bad right there. Should have probably read the effect, but you can use this for scrap synchro monsters, which is cool. Anyways, when this card is normal summon, you can select a scrap monster, tuner monster in graveyard, and special summon it. So okay, that's actually kind of cool right there. You can easily go for a easy synchro summon with this card right here. Really fast, because it is a 4-star, and the fact that you can special summon a scrap tuner monster, you can easily go into whatever synchro summon that you need to. Hopefully we get some throughout this box, we can see some really cool scrap or tuner monsters in the deck, and eventually kind of go from there. But yeah, cool card right there. I think I actually like it a lot. Really cool right there. Next up, let's talk about Naturia Butterfly real quick. So let's do that. Naturia Butterfly, where is this? Is it not that? Uh-oh, hold up. Let's try searching this on Google. Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's try this. Here it is. Yeah, here it is right here. I wonder why that wasn't popping up on the wiki right there. But anyway, so Naturia Butterfly is a 3-star insect tuner. Once per turn, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard and negate that attack. So that's actually kind of cool right there. So yeah, you can throw this monster out to the board, send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and negate that attack. So that's actually pretty good, because if you go turn 1 with this tuner, you can summon this tuner in attack position. If your opponent tries to attack into you, you can just stop that attack altogether and mill one of your cards. So you know what, not a bad tuner. It has a protection effect, which is really nice. But sadly though, there is a lot of cards in the game that can destroy monsters face up. So I don't know, this card is like, the effect is good, but still there's a lot of easy ways to get around this card and everything like that. So I don't know, it's a good effect, but you can easily destroy it with card effects instead of attacking. But cool card though, cool card there. Now let's go back out right there, because for whatever reason it did not pop up in the search thing. I don't know why. And now let's go talk about Destruction, Swordsman Fusion, another Buster Blader card. There's actually a lot of interesting cards in this box right now, and this one is a quick play spell card. Fusion summon one fusion monster, list Buster Blader as material from your extra deck. Using monsters from your hand or either side of the field. Either side of the field? Wait, I don't know if I'm reading that right, but it sounds like you can use your opponent's side of the field to go for a Buster Blader fusion summon. If that's the case, this is kind of wild. Anyways, if this card's in your graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, add this card to your hand. You only can use each effective Destruction Swordsman Fusion once per turn. Crazy right there. So that's a very interesting card right there, because basically if your opponent is playing dragons, you can easily, if I'm reading this card right, if your opponent has dragons on the side of their field, you can go for a fusion summon of a Buster Blader monster, use your opponent's dragon and one of your Buster Bladers, and just go for the fusion summon right there. If so, that's actually kind of wild and like really good. It's a quick play spell, so you can do this on either player's turn, which is awesome. And dude, that's actually crazy. I think I'm reading, yeah, it's or either side of the field as fusion materials. That's interesting. That is very interesting right there. So watch out when you're going against Buster Blader decks, man, because you summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon, your opponent just fusion summons that Blue Eyes White Dragon with their Buster Blader, and rest in peace, dude. That's actually crazy. That's actually pretty crazy right there. Hopefully get some Buster Blader fusions in this. Next card, though, we're going to talk about Scrap Storm, and this is going to be the last SR card that we're going to talk about from this list. So let's go check out Scrap Storm. There's also a speed spell version of Scrap Storm. That's cool. Let's go right there. Anyways, this is a quick play spell card. Target a scrap monster you control. Send a scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard and draw a card. Then destroy that monster. So, okay, that's actually kind of interesting right there. You target a scrap monster you control. Send a scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard and then draw a card. Then destroy that monster. So, looks like you do destroy your scrap monster, which kind of does suck. From what I'm getting at, you actually have to destroy your own scrap monster. But considering that last scrap card we talked about, it does utilize the graveyard. So, there's probably some more scrap cards that we can talk about in this box that utilize the graveyard and kind of just go for plays right there. But yeah, that's actually kind of interesting right there. So yeah, target one of your scrap monsters on the board, you target it with this card, send a scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard, then draw a card, but then you have to destroy that monster you just targeted. So interesting right there. I like it though. All right, I mean, I kind of like it. We need to see the other scrap cards in this box to see if this card would be useful or not. But I'm guessing the reason why they labeled it as an SR is probably because the scrap monsters utilize the graveyard. Like I said, this is like the first time of me seeing most of these cards, so there's that. Now we're on to the rare cards, which we actually have a little bit amount to go through. So let's just go through these relatively quickly. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time with today's video, but whatever happens, happens. This is another one of those situations for like Radium doesn't exist. Like, weird. Wonder why it's being like that. So I guess we'll do this. Go to, okay, so it looks like it was spelled wrong. That makes sense. That's probably why I'll spell it wrong. Anyway, so Morphotronic Radion, it's a thunder with the effect. While in attack position, Morphotronic monsters you control gain 800 attack. That's actually pretty cool, and I'm guessing Radion gives itself 800 attack also. So you summon this guy, and all the Morphotronics along with Radion gain 800 attack. It's pretty cool right there. While in defense position, Morphotronic monsters you control gain 1000 defense. So this is actually a pretty cool card. I actually like this one right here. The attack effect is definitely going to help out a lot depending on the strength of some of the other Morphotronic cards. So that is pretty cool right there. Next up, let's talk about Morphotronic Slingin. Talk about this one. Hopefully these other ones are not misspelled. Okay, this one isn't a misspell. Anyways, this is a 4-star Morphotronic monster. While in attack position, once per turn, you can contribute one Morphotronic except Morphotronic Slingin to destroy one card of the field. Not bad. While in defense position, if this card would be destroyed, you can destroy another Morphotronic monster you control instead. So this card, I mean, it is a rare, so you shouldn't expect too much from it. You contribute one of your Morphotronic monsters to destroy another card on the field. That's not horrible right there. That's actually, you know, pretty cool. It's a little cheeky effect that you can probably do. I don't know if I would run it in my Morphotronic deck, but it is a nice little tech that you could try out if you're feeling it right there. So it's a cool card. I like it. It's not like it's nothing special. It's nothing special, but it's cool. Now let's talk about Morphotronic Remoten. I think I heard of this card before. I think this one was used in the anime. Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, this is the tuner monster that Leo has with his skill. So it looks like we can also get the tuner monster from Leo's skill. So now Leo's skill is pretty much useless at this point. It's kind of useless at this point. But anyway, so basically with Remoten, you once per turn while in attack position, you can target a Morphotronic monster in graveyard, banish that target and add a Morphotronic with the same level as the target from your deck to your hand. Alright. Once per turn while in defense position, you can send a Morphotronic monster from your hand to the graveyard and add another Morphotronic monster with the same level as that monster from your graveyard to your hand. So, little interesting card right there. Only time I used this card was literally just because it was a tuner monster. I never really used its effects, but still, it's actually cool that we have both Power Tool Dragon and Remoten from Leo's skill available in this box right here, so I'm kind of happy about that. Next up, let's talk about Double Tool C&D, which is a classic. This is like the go-to card for Power Tool Dragon. Probably gonna want to run 3 copies of this card in your deck, to be honest, but yeah, let's go talk about this card. This card's not bad at all. So, equip only to a Power Tool Dragon or a level 4 or higher machine-type Morphotronic monster you control. While equipped during your turn, this card, it gains 1,000 attack if it attacks any effects of that attack target that activate or apply on the field are negated during that battle phase. During your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot select a monster other than the equipped monster as attack target, and opponent's monster that battles the equipped monster is destroyed at the end of the damage step. So, very good card right here. You're gonna definitely want to use Power Tool Dragon because Power Tool Dragon can search for this card for you. It is random, but if you run 3 copies of this card and choose all 3 copies of this card when you're selecting them, which I believe you can do with Power Tool Dragon, but yeah, it's a really cool card right there. It helps Power Tool Dragon so much because you give it 1,000 attack during your turn, and any effects of the attack target that activate or apply on the field are negated during the battle phase. Like, that's really good. And then also during your opponent's turn, your opponent cannot select the monster other than the equipped monster attack target. The opponent's monster battles the equipped monster and destroyed at the end of the battle step. So it's a really good card right there. I think it does lose its 1,000 attack though during your opponent's phase, which kind of does suck, but still, this card it's pretty good. It's going to be definitely good for Power Tool Dragon, and you're going to want to run this card if you're going to play Power Tool Dragon for sure. Next up, let's talk about Atomic Scrap Dragon, which I think is actually a synchro monster. So far, we got 3 synchro monsters in the box, so I think this is the 4th synchro monster. Yes, it is. So let's see if this card is worth it. It is a rare card, but so since it's a rare card, it might not be that worth it, but let's go check. So this is an Earth Dragon Synchro with the effect. It's a 10-star Synchro monster, which I think is our first 10-star Synchro monster in Duel Links. It has 3,200 attack and 2,400 defense, and its effect stats, it takes a Scrap Tuner plus 2 or more non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, you can select 1 card you control and up to 3 cards in opponent's graveyard. Destroy your selected card and return the 3 opponent's cards to the deck. When this card destroys, when this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effects sent in graveyard, you can select a non-synchro scrap monster from graveyard and special summon it. It's alright. It's alright, but it's not like anything crazy whatsoever. It really isn't. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this card. It's nice that it is a floater, where if it does get destroyed, you can use a different scrap monster and special summon one of your scrap monsters from your graveyard. But like, it's not really that worth it. The only reason why it's alright is by its attack. The only thing that's kind of good about it is its attack, but I'm not too sure how I feel about it because it is a 10-star monster and you need to use 2 non-tuner monsters. Probably the easiest way to go to is you use 2 level 4-star scrap monsters and then like a 2-star tuner scrap monster to go into this card. But yeah, it's very mediocre at best. It's not really that good of a card in my opinion, but I don't know, you guys can tell me what you think about the card. I do like the artwork of the card, but like, its effect is very lackluster to say the least. Now let's go talk about this VYLONS Sigma or something. I don't know how to pronounce this one, but let's go talk about it. Okay, so VYLONS Sigma, this is another synchro monster that is awesome. This is a 7-star fairy synchro with the effect. It takes a light tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner light monsters. When this card declares an attack, if it's the only monster you control, you can equip a spell card from your deck to this face-up card. That's actually pretty cool right there. I actually do like that effect there. It is a 7-star monster, so I believe you can combo some of the Morphotronic cards to synchro summon into this card easily. And yeah, you can choose an equip card from your deck and add it to this card, so not that bad of a monster. It does only have 1,800 attack though, so I'm guessing the equip card you're going to want to equip is probably one that gives it a lot of attack or something like that too. I was really hyped about this card, but now that it has a kind of low attack, I'm not too sure how I feel about it, but still, it's kind of a generic synchro monster. It does take light monsters only, but you can use the Morphotronic deck. I believe you can use the Morphotronic deck to synchro summon into this card. I need to remember the attributes of some of the Morphotronic cards, but yeah. There's that right there. Next up, we have Scrap Breaker. Hopefully, this is one of the tuner monsters because we haven't seen a Scrap Tuner just yet. We have not. So let's go take a look at this. So Scrap Breaker is not a tuner. This is a 6-star machine with the effect. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. And when this card is special summoned this way, select and face up a scrap monster you control and destroy it. So it looks like you need to have a scrap monster on the board to special summon this card. And it does have 2,100 attack, which is alright, but I'm guessing that you're mostly going to be using this for the synchro summon of that Scrap Dragon that we were talking about. But still, I need to see some of the other scrap cards to see if this card is useful at all. So far, there hasn't been any other scrap monsters that I like so far that can combo easily with some of these destruction effects. So hopefully see one of those soon. We have Scrap Breaker, you can destroy a card and special summon this card basically. So that's cool. But you have to first summon your scrap monster, then special summon the Scrap Breaker and destroy your other scrap monster if you're gonna do that. So now let's go talk about Scrap Golem. Scrap Golem is a 4-star rock with the effect. Once per turn, you can select level 4 or lower scrap monster and graveyard, special summon it to either player side of the field. So that one is alright. The fact that it is a 5-star though is kind of lacking because you're gonna need to tribute summon this monster or special summon some other way, but there is that right there. I mean, but hey, you can special summon a level 4 or lower scrap monster. If it's a tuner scrap, you can go for a synchro summon from there, which is alright, I guess. But still, these scrap cards are not looking good. I don't know how I feel about these scrap cards yet. They don't seem that good in my opinion. Maybe I'm missing a combo out or something, but so far from what I've been seeing, they're not that good. Let's go talk about this scrap monster though. It's like Orthos or something like that. Let's go check this one out. So Scrap Orthos, this is a tuner monster, so that is good. It is a 4-star beast tuner. This card cannot be normal summoned or sent, must be only special summoned by controlling a face of scrap monster. When special summoned this way, you can select the face of scrap monster you control and destroy it. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card and sent to the graveyard, you can select a scrap monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So I'm not too sure how I feel about this. Let's break it down though. So you only can special summon this card if you control face of scrap monster. So boom, special summon it from there. When it is special summoned this way, you have to select a face of scrap monster you control and destroy it. Not sure how I feel about that. Not sure how I feel about that. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card sent to the graveyard, you can select a scrap monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So if you do destroy the scrap monster with its own effect, you can add a scrap monster from your graveyard. So there's some recycling that happens here, but I don't think I like scraps so far. Maybe scraps will be like the next meta deck, but I'm not too sure how I feel about them just yet. Tell me what you guys think about scrap and tell me some of your combos that you got for these scrap cards, but I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it. But next up, let's go talk about Wind Up Soldier. Got some more wind-up support, which is pretty cool. So this is a 4-star warrior with the effect. During your main phase, you can increase this card's level by 1 and attack by 400. That's actually kind of cool. So you can get this to a 5-star 2200 monster until the end phase, though. This effect can only be used once this once while this card's face up on the field. So it's a very simple effect. It is a rare card after all, so you shouldn't expect much from it. But it's just a little simple effect right here. I do like it though. You can combo with beatdown if you really wanted to. But yeah, just a 2200 guy. Nice little beat stick for the deck. Not too bad. Let's talk about Vylon Cube. Talk about this one. This is another synchro, most likely a monster. Yep, most likely monsters. This is actually a tuner monster. This is a machine tuner. This card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon of a light monster. You can add an equipped spell card from your deck to your hand. Pretty cool right there. It's a 3-star light, which is awesome. So if you have a 4-star non-tuner monster, you can synchro summon to that other Vylon card that we talked about, or Power Tool Dragon, which is nice. And yeah, I can add equipped spells with this card right here too. So it is kind of cool. I like that for the deck itself. Not too bad. Next up, let's talk about this next Vylon card. Vylon Stella. Let's talk about this one. This is a 3-star Fairy Tuner. Nice that we're getting a bunch of Vylon tuners, which is really cool. 3-star Fairy Tuner. This card sent from the monster zone to the graveyard. You can pay 500 life points. Target a face-up card you control and equip this card to that target. At the end of the damage step of this, equip the monster, battle an opponent's monster, destroy an opponent's monster. Okay, nothing too crazy right here. I think with VYLONS though, or VYLONS, I think they have effects where, or cards that you can actually switch the Vylon equips card to be a monster on the board. And if so, if that is the case, this is actually a pretty good tuner monster, because if it gets destroyed while you have another Vylon on the field, you can equip this card to that Vylon, then play that other card. I don't know if there is one though, but if there is a Vylon card that you can unequip a Vylon and special summon it to your field, you can special summon this 3-star tuner and go for a synchro summon. So kind of cool right there. I like it. Like it right there. But then again, compared to the other Vylon card, I don't know how I feel about that, but still interesting card right there. Next up, we have Scrap Worm. Hopefully this is a decent card for the deck. Like I said, I'm not sure how I feel about the scrap deck. There might be something I'm missing about it, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. So this is a 2-star tuner. This card can attack your opponent directly. If this card attacks, destroy at the end of the battle phase. If the card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card and sent to the graveyard, you can select a scrap monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So nothing too insane with this card. It is a 2-star tuner though, which is nice. And it can attack your opponent directly, and you can destroy one of your, then it gets destroyed. So I guess this is the only value to this, is that you can add a scrap card from your graveyard to your hand, which is cool. Mostly a lot of these scrap cards do that, where you can basically recycle them, so pretty standard right there. It is a 2-star though, so this opens up more combos if you're going to play a scrap specific deck. Since it's a 2-star, you can combo with different synchro monsters and everything like that, so it's alright. Nothing too insane though. Next up, we're going to talk about Synchro. So this is a spell card. Target a synchro monster on the field. Return that target to the action deck, and then if all monsters that were used in Synchro summon another monster in your graveyard, you can special summon all of them. So not the craziest card in the world. I don't think I would run it personally, but if you really need to desynchro one of your monsters for whatever reason, you can play desynchro and special summon your monsters back. So I don't know. Probably some people can think of some really cool combos with this card. Personally, for me, though, I don't see the value of this card too much, but it is still a thing that you can use, so that's cool right there. Next up, we have this card called the Rod of the Silence, so you gotta be quiet, guys, when this card's on the board. Anyways, this is an equip spell. Equip monster gains fire and defense. Negate other spell effects that target the equipped monster, and if you do, destroy that spell card. So that's actually kind of a cool card. It makes your monsters immune to spell cards. So if there's any destructive spell cards and in the game that target your monster that's equipped with this card, you can stop those. And a lot of our monsters that are in this box search out for equip cards. So this card isn't horrible. I don't know how useful it'll be, but still, you can negate the other spell effects that target the equipped monster, which is kind of cool right there. Now, it doesn't make them completely immune to spell effects, but targeting spell effects will not bother your monster with this card. So, kind of cool right there. I don't know if I would use it, but yeah, now, ooh, Scrap Lube. Uh-oh. Is that the actual name of this card? Uh-oh. Oh, it is. We got Scrap Lube, boys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, right there. But anyways, this is a continuous spell card. You can select a scrap monster in your graveyard, special summon that monster from the graveyard. Its effects are negated. When this card is removed from the field, destroy the monster. When the monster is removed from the field, destroy this card. You cannot conduct your battle phase until you activate this card. That killed the card right there. I was like, man, this card's actually pretty good. Until the last effect right there. So the cool thing about this is that you can special summon your scrap monsters from the graveyard. Awesome. I love it. But the fact that after you special summon your scrap monster from the graveyard, you can't conduct your battle phase until you activate this card. That just makes this card a doo-doo. Don't really like that card now. Yes, I mean, this would be a good turn 1 card. I will say that. It's a good turn 1 card because from what I've been getting out the scrap cards, you can destroy a bunch of your scrap monsters when you're going with the combo, then play Scrap Lube to special summon one of your scrap monsters from the graveyard, and then go for a turn 1 synchro summon. If you go for a turn 1 synchro summon, that last effect where you cannot conduct your battle phase turn to activate the card won't bother you that much, but you still gotta open up with this card, and you just gotta hope you go first if you have this card. So it's a good opening card, but if you're in your second turn or your third turn or fourth turn or whatever, yeah, it's not going to be too useful for you right there. So that's what kind of killed it. But turn 1, though, I think this card could be pretty useful since you can't conduct your battle phase in the first place. So there's that. I guess it would be good for turn 1. And last rare card that we're going to be talking about in today's video is Overwind. Overwind. Let's go talk about it. So Overwind is a trap card. Target a face-up-wind monster, wind-up monster you control. Its attack and defense are doubled, and it returns to hand during the end phase. You only can activate 1 Overwind per turn. That's not bad. I think you can all... Oh, yeah, you can't activate multiple of them at once. I was about to say that, but it says that right there. You only can activate 1 of these per turns. But, I mean, hey, you can do this during either player's turn. This would definitely surprise your opponent if they're attacking into your wind-up monster. You play this card, double their attack, and your wind-up monster's attack and destroy your opponent's monster. That's not too bad. And I think since they would return back into your hand, you're possibly going to be able to go into like effects. I think some of the wind-ups, when you normal summon them, they have an effect, so you can basically reuse their effect if you want to. So there's that right there. It's an interesting card. It is a rare after all, so it's not like broken or anything, but double the attack of your wind-up monsters will not be too shabby. You can get them over 3,000 attacks. Most of the wind-ups that I've seen, they're like 1,700, 1,800 attacks. So doubling the attack of those would be really beneficial for you in a duel. So I like it. I like the card. Now let's go talk about the rare cards. We have a ton of rare cards to talk about, but then we're done with this video. And let me tell you, my mouth, my voice is oofed. And sorry if you hear any background noise. I'm really sorry about that. Recording 1 hour, basically 1 hour video in one take is pretty bad. Sorry about the pause right there. I did not want to pause the video, but shenanigans have happened in my household. So sorry if this video goes up really late. I was trying to record this video in one take so that I could get this video out at a relatively good time, but that is not going to be the case for today's video. But without further ado, let's go talk about some of the rare cards from this list. So first of all, we have MORPHTRONIC Engine that you can equip to a level 3 MORPHTRONIC monster. Its attack becomes double its original attack. During your second standby phase after this card's activation, destroy this card and take damage equal to the original attack of the equipped monster. So Oh, I don't know how I feel about that card. You equip to a level 3 Morphotronic monster. Its attack becomes double its original attack. During your second standby phase, after this card's activation, destroys card, you take damage equal to the original attack of the equipped monster. So, it is kind of a good card. I think the biggest value you're going to get from this card is if you use this on your, like, opening turn, give your Morphotronic a ton of attack, and then before this card gets destroyed, use that Morphotronic for, like, a Synchro Summon, maybe. I think that would be pretty viable, but other than that, I'm not too sure how I feel about this card right there. But still, it's an alright card, I guess. Nothing too crazy. We are talking about rare cards or the normal cards in the game after all, which is the lowest rarity, so we shouldn't expect much from these cards as is, but there might be a few gems. There might be a few gens in these right here. Power Pickaxe, I recognize this from the anime. So this is another equipped spell. Once per turn, you can select and remove from play one monster in your opponent's graveyard whose level is less than equal to the equipped monster, and have the equipped monster gain 500 attack until the end phase. So this is a very situational card. I don't think it would be that useful in practical play, but if you need a monster that needs to get banished from your opponent's graveyard so that they can't go into a combo, this would be useful, but I doubt the scenario is going to happen, so this card is meh, in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about Morph Transition. I think that's what it is. Let's go talk about this one right here. Morph Transition. So Morph Transition is a trap card. Activate only when a face-up Morphotronic monster you control is selected as attack target. Negate the attack and change the battle position of the selected Morphotronic monster. This card is not the worst thing ever. It is only a rare card, so you shouldn't expect much out of it, but personally, I would rather use different trap cards in the game instead of Morph Transition, but if you are a budget player or something like that, this card can be useful for you because you can negate your opponent's attacks if you have a face of Morphotronic on the board. But still, I'd rather use just cards that are very generic. There's much better trap cards than this card, but for what it's worth, this card is alright for considering it's an N. Maybe good for budget players, but yeah, I just recommend using like cards like Floodgate, Treacherous Trap Hole, anything like that than this card over this card. So that is just my opinion right there, and I did not mean to do that. Probably could work out, but we're using this website, so let's do that. Let's do that right there. So, looks like this card... Oh, there it is. I think this card just got misspelled. But yeah, we have Morphotronic Force Field right here. This is a counter trap. Negate the activation of a spell or trap card that would destroy a face of Morphotronic monster control and destroy it. Add a Morphotronic card from your deck to your hand. So... I mean, this card is very situational because, to be honest, there's not a lot of cards in the game that you will see use with this card. I think maybe running a one of this card would be definitely beneficial because if your opponent Treacherous Trap Holes you could activate this card. Like, I think this card would actually be really good at countering against Treacherous Trap Hole. But other than that, there is still a lot of, like, we still don't have a ton of cards that destroy opponent's monsters with spell or trap cards. The only one that I can think of at the top of my head that's just the most used is Treacherous Trap Hole. So this card would be useful against Treacherous Trap Hole, but considering the fact that Treacherous Trap Hole is going to be on the semi-limit list soon, and by the time this box gets out into Duel Links, that semi-limit list will hit, and Treacherous Trap Hole will be on the semi-limit list. You might see it a little bit less than normal. So this card is probably just a decent one or two of that you can run in your deck if your opponent destroys one of your tries to destroy your monsters with spell trap cards. You can do that, but other than that, nothing too crazy right there. But you can add a Morphotronic card from your deck to your hand, which is cool. So if you do pop up this card, you can negate the effect and actually, oh yeah, okay, for a second I thought I got it wrong, but yeah, it does say negate the activation of spell trap card that would destroy face of Morphotronic and add a Morphotronic card from your deck to hand. So let's go right there. Next up, let's talk about Morphotronics Scramble. Morphotronics Scramble. Let's do that. Morphotronics Scramble, it's a trap card. Activate only when your opponent declares a direct attack while they control no monsters. Negate the attack special Morphotronic monster from your hand. So, that's alright. I mean, if it would end the battle phase, then this card would be really good, but it's another one of those that's kind of situational. Opponent declares a direct attack, you can negate it and special summon a Morphotronic from your hand. Still, I'd rather use cards like Wall Disruption instead of this card, to be honest, when my opponent direct attacks me, so... yeah, I'd rather just use something like Wall Disruption. That's just kind of like a waste in my opinion. It's a waste in my opinion right there. Let's go to Guardian, whatever that word is. This is a 4-star Sea Serpent. Can't be summoned unless you control a face-up Rod of Silence. That was a rare card that we talked about earlier. This card is unaffected by spell effects, cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. So basically, what this card is saying is that while it is immune from attacks, sadly, if this is the only card onto your field, your opponent can still direct attack you with this card. So I don't like those type of cards, but yeah, it is right there. Still, you can keep this on the board for maybe like a Synchro Monster or no. I don't know. It's nothing that crazy, though. It's nothing that crazy at all. Next up, let's talk about Scrap Shark. Talk about Scrap Shark right here. Scrap Shark is a 4-star fish with the effect. When an effect monster, effect, or a spell trap card is activated, destroy this face-up card on the field. If this card is destroyed by the effect of a scrap card sent to the graveyard, you can send a scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard. So it is a 4-star, and it is a 4-star 2100 card, which is very interesting. And yeah, so the sad thing is though, if your opponent or actually this is just in general, if anybody on the field activates an effect or a spell trap card is activated, this card does get destroyed. That is kind of annoying right there, but you can send it to the graveyard after you activate this effect and add a scrap from your deck to your hand. So this card is alright. It is a 2100, which is really good, but the fact that if anything else is activated when this card's on the board, it gets destroyed. So interesting card right there. Maybe could be used for a certain combo or something like that, but still, it's kind of an eh right there. Kind of an eh. Next up, let's talk about Wind Up Warrior. Talk about Wind Up Warrior. This is a 4-star warrior effect. You can target a face-up Wind Up monster you control. Increased its level by 1 and its attack by 600 until the end phase. This effect can only be used once once it's face up on the field. So I mean, you can increase one of your wind up monsters or wind up monsters until the end phase, which is cool. This effect can only be used once this card is face up on the field. So nothing too crazy right there. Like I said, these are a bunch of rare cards, or end cards, so you shouldn't really expect much from there. I think we're almost around the 11th card on this list. Almost done with this box review. It's been taking me a while to do this box review, that's for sure. But next up, we're going to be talking about Scrap Hunter. Scrap Hunter is a 3-star machine with the effect. Once per turn, you select a face of Scrap monster you control, except this card, destroy and send a tuner monster from your deck to your graveyard. So this is probably going to be one of the cards that can definitely get the engine going, but sadly, you do need another Scrap monster onto the board to get this combo going. So maybe this is not the card that you're going to want to use to get the engine going, but it does destroy one of your Scrap monsters and send a tuner monster from your deck to your hand, so you can also send like a Scrap monster maybe to your deck to the graveyard. So that's cool right there. Next up, we're going to talk about Wind Up Dog. Wind Up Dog. I think it's like Wind Up, but like I call it Wind Up. Or I don't know. But yeah, still, during your main phase, you can increase this card's level by 2 and attack by 600 until the end phase. The effect can only be used while this card's face up on the field. So this one's very meh. I do really like the artwork of this card, though. I like it a lot. But yeah, it's a very meh card. The only use I could see from it is maybe for like a synchro summon of some sort. Maybe. I don't know. If you can special summon a tuner monster and Wind Up Dog, you can go for a combo like that. But other than that, kind of a meh card in my opinion. So there is that right there. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Scrap Searcher. Hopefully you can search for them scrap cards, because that's what it says right there. It's probably going to be a hinder effect, though. It's not going to make it that good. Oh, this is not a spell trap. This is a monster. So anyways, it's a 1-star. When a scrap monster you control accepts Scrap Searcher, store and send to the graveyard while its card's in the graveyard. You can special summon this card from your graveyard. That's actually pretty good. I like that already. When this card's special summon, destroy all face of monster you control except scrap monsters. So you're most likely going to only be playing a scrap deck as it is, so that last effect shouldn't bother you that much, but like definitely could be a hindrance. But still, the fact that this is a monster that you can special summon from the graveyard is going to make it easier to go into synchro summons for just different synchro summon monsters. So I do like that. I actually do like this one right there. So there's that. But still, you need to have this card on the board along with the scrap monster. So I don't know how consistent it will be, but you can special summon from the graveyard, which is cool. So I do like that. I do like that right there. Next up, we got Guts of Steel. Selects 3 scrap monsters in graveyard. Your opponent picks one of them, and you special summon it to either player's side of the field and remove the rest from play. So that's not as horrible as a card. It's a special summonable. It's a spell card. You can use a special summon a scrap monster, but sadly, I think it's going to take a long time to get 3 scrap monsters in your graveyard to maybe not make this card worth it. But still, you can special summon a scrap monster. It's going to make it easier to go for the synchro summon for a scrap monster. So not horrible, but I think since it's going to be it's going to probably take a while so you can actually go for the combo that you need to go for, in my opinion. Next up, let's talk about Legendary Wind Up Key. Wasn't this one of the good ones? Oh, wasn't this one of the good wind-up cards? Or maybe it was something. I think I might be missing something out, because wind-ups, like, back in the day were really good. I just don't remember what cards were good. But anyways, this is a quick play spell card. Change all face-up wind-up monsters you control to face-down defense position. So, I don't know how useful this card is. I might be missing something here, but maybe you can like flip back your wind-ups and activate their effects again, something like that. I don't know, but still, it's an interesting card. Not really too sure how I feel about it, but you could flip down all your face-up wind-up monsters face down and then just kind of go from there. So I don't know right there. But next up, let's talk about Scrap Sheen. Quick play spell card. Select a face of scrap monster you control and destroy it. All face of scrap monster you control gain 1,000 attack till the end phase. So kind of worth it. I mean, it is a quick play spell card, so you can attack with your scrap monster, and then afterwards, after you attack with the scrap monster, play the scrap sheen, and then sacrifice the monster that you just attacked with, and then give the rest of your scrap monster 1,000 attack. So maybe this card can help out with some OTK potential with scraps. And sorry for the notification right there. Wish that didn't pop up. There's a lot of things interrupting me in today's video, but to be honest, I don't think that's that big of a deal because we only got interrupted twice now in this video, which isn't too bad. Isn't too bad right there. Anyways, this is a Vylon element. It is a continuous spell card. When any face-up Vylon equipped cards you control are destroyed except during the damage step, you can special summon a equal or lower number of Vylon tuner monsters from your deck. They cannot be used as synchro material monsters except for the synchro summon of a Vylon, a synchro monster. So that's okay. Let me reread that. I kind of read that but didn't process any of it. So yeah, any face-up Vylon equipped card you control or destroy except during the damage step, you can special summon an equal or lower tuner from your deck. So that's actually kind of cool right there. So you can play this, you know, if one of your villain monsters get destroyed, you can special summon one of your tuner monsters right there on the follow-up turn. So on that, the only downside though is that it does specifically say you only can use those synchro material monsters for a villain synchro monster. You can't use it with any other monster, so that kind of hinders it. I probably wouldn't run this card, but it is a neat card, but probably not the best. Probably not the best right there. Now let's go search up this card right here. So this is probably a trap. Nope, it is a equip spell. So equip to a villain monster. If an equipped monster attacks, your opponent cannot activate any spell and trap cards to end a damage step. That's actually pretty good right there. It is a face-up card on the field since in the graveyard. You can add a villain spell card from your deck to your hand. I actually like this one. I think I like this one a lot just because with these cards, you can easily, you know, destroy or, I mean, equip them really quickly. And stopping your opponent from activating their spell and trap cards is very nice right there. So I actually like that one. It might be a decent one-up to run in your deck maybe. I don't know. Something like that. I don't like that in my opinion. Next up, let's go talk about the Villain segment. This is a equip spell card. Equipped to only a villain monster. Cannot be targeted by opponent monster effects or trap effects. It's a face-up card on the field. Since engraved, you can add a villain spell card from your deck to your hand. So yeah, equipped to villain monster. Can't be targeted by opponent monster effect or trap effect. That's always nice. It's a face-up card sent from the field. Engraved, you can add a spell card to your hand. So it looks like all these villain cards kind of do that. You can basically search for the other villain cards and go from there. I think it's called Vylon, but still, I don't know. I don't know right there. Next up, let's talk about Scrap Crash. Activate only when a scrap monster you control is destroyed. Send the graveyard. Destroy all face-up spell trap cards on the field. Not horrible. If it was face-down spell trap cards, this card would be really good. Like the fact that scraps destroy each other all the time. If you activated this card, it would actually like be really helpful if it destroyed face-down ones. But since it's only face-up, probably not going to run this that much. It's going to be very situational right there, and you should probably just run like something else beside the card. So yeah, if it was face-down, would have been good, but since it's not that good. But it's an end card. You shouldn't be expecting much. Next up, we have Scrap Rage. To activate only damage calculation of a defense position scrap monster on the field is being attacked. It gains 2,000 defense and is destroyed by the end of the battle phase. So there's that right there. I mean, there's there. Hey, I mean, hey, if a defense position scrap monster is getting attacked, gains 2,000 defense and is destroyed during the battle phase. Very mediocre at best. I doubt you're going to surprise your opponent with that. I don't know right there. I do not know right there. But anyways, let's do the last card, final card of this box. Final card of this box, we have a trap card. Target a face-up level 4 or lower wind-up monster you control. Return the target to the hand no matter its level. Then special summon a wind-up monster from your hand with the same level as the return monster. So there is that right there. I mean, you target a one you control, return the target to your hand, and special summon from your hand with the same level as the return monster. So I think you can basically like, repeat effects. I think that's kind of like the niche about this. You can basically repeat the effects of the wind-up monsters if you want to. So I guess that's all right. It's a trap card though, so it's nothing too crazy. I don't really know how I feel about that card. Never played wind-ups before, so I don't know how the whole deck flows. My bad right there. But that's the final card from this list. Overall, I think this box is interesting, but I definitely want to try out some of the cards to see if they're useful or not. I think MORPHTRONICS are definitely going to be the top deck from this box in my opinion, but you guys can tell me in the comment section down below what is the decks that you guys think is going to be the top tier decks from this box. But still, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did and watched till the end of the video and haven't already, hit the like button on the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Sorry for the interruptions and pauses that happened in the video, and sorry if you guys heard any background noise during this video, but I get interrupted a lot and it does suck when I'm recording videos, but I try my best for you guys. Sorry, and also sorry that this video is going to be going out late, but whatever though. Thank you guys so much for watching today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. If you guys didn't, I already said all that shenanigans right there, but yeah, heading out for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. Peace out.